Ta-da! Check out my beautiful altar. Oh man, I gotta show you guys. I'll show you later. Oh my god, anyways, I'm freezing because my husband decided to turn down the shower heat or whatever, the water heat, something, whatever. And he also decided to make the coffee really strong this morning, so I'm kind of like losing my mind. But anyways, yeah, lately I've been really busy and haven't really been feeling, I don't know, I guess YouTube like I used to. But that's just because I all I do is study. Like it's like what I'm living for right now is just learning everything. And I've got so many books and so many things um, in front of me that it's overwhelming because, I'm trying to read a book like cover to back or whatever, front to back, and it's like, wait, I need to know what this author thinks and this person thinks, and there's so many subjects. Like I actually tried making like I have it right here, a little Wicca bubble spider thing, and I didn't even get like halfway done, and it's like already like there's just so many things. I've got Wicca, and then there's, the gods and goddesses, the history, there's everyday Wicca, there's like you know, the the psychology behind it, as more to say. So then the magic, the crystals, your book of shadows, astrology, correspondences, and it just goes on and on and on. And I'm trying to get it all nailed down and form my own opinion because some of the books I've been reading is making me question a lot of stuff, which brings me to like I haven't lately, okay, the past month or two, I haven't been really opinionated. I've been kind of doing my own thing, focusing on what, like, moving and just getting life straight. And when I think about it, it's like I feel like I'm at peace with myself, so I don't have a need to, state my opinion. But lately, when I'm reading all my books, it's like I'm kind of being critical of it because um, I've been, people say it takes a year and a day, at least, before you call yourself a witch. But that, to me, isn't, that's like, I don't know. It's like saying you're not this unless you've been doing it, for this long. And it's like you can't put a time on anything because someone like me who has all this time, like I don't have kids, I don't have a job right now. I have like nothing but time, and time is just completely on my side right now. So I feel like if I want to learn everything I can about this, now is the time. Otherwise, it's gonna take years. It's gonna like take forever to really get down. I'm not saying, I'm the girl who knows everything, overnight, because that's definitely not the case. But I do, however, have a lot more time to do this. Like, I'm not in school either. I've been trying to get in school. I can't make up my mind on what I want to do. I change my mind a lot. So, like, every so often, I start getting into something and then I'm like, no, that's not me. But it's been going on and on and on. And, it's just not getting, uninteresting or, just boring. It's getting better and better and better. And as I've been studying here, like, it's hard because I'm by myself. So, but it's good too. It's like a good thing and a bad thing. But more or less, I have been thinking as I'm like reading a lot of things, some of these authors are so full of it. And like I've come a long way. Like even my husband's noticed it. He's like, wow. I don't know if you can see on my altar that orange piece of paper there. It's construction paper. I made like I made a little project for Mabon. Like I just kind of, you'll see it. I'll show you after. I gotta make another video because I have a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, like I've just come a long way. Like now when I read a book, I'm like, no, that's wrong. Like no, that's No. So and I'm not saying, it's wrong, I guess. I'm just saying, like, that's not how I view it, or that's not what I believe, because there's so much to the past, the history of this, and it's been centuries and years and thousands of trillions of years practically for this information to be passed down to what we read in the basic beginners books. Um, if that makes any sense. It's like, and then, you turn to the back of the book and everybody has a reference. Everybody has, got their information from someone who got their information from someone. Yes, okay. But people covered this stuff up. Like, they went beyond beyond to hide everything, because it was almost like a big secret. Like, it was power, it was success, it was knowledge and wisdom, and the people who didn't have that or couldn't figure it out, or the people who knew it but didn't want to share because maybe they felt like that person didn't deserve to know it, or maybe that person would be better at it and kind of take over, and so it became like a secret that was probably started with like hereditary traditions and this and that. But it's like, when it comes down to it, like, everybody knows this, it's all inside. Like, Christopher Penzak's book here, I'm like 30 pages in. I've had this book forever. It's like turning yellow. I've had it forever, and I'm really just I skim through books before I start, getting ready to study them and take notes and compare and contrast and form my own opinion. So, I wasn't ready for this book yet. I'm not ready to jump right into magic. I'm not that person who came here just to curse people or to I don't know, to do whatever the hell people, like, when you're a teenager, it's like, oh, cool, but, I was always the one growing up, like, that's just baloney. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, there's no such thing as magic unless you're, like, a magician and you're gonna pull a rabbit out of a hat. Like, I don't know, that's how I viewed magic, but magic to me is, being able to make things happen by focusing on your intent and everything like that. And it's always how it's been, but I never called that magic because, obviously Hollywood and all that's got magic mixed in the mix with things. So that's the other thing. I feel like, they on purpose made this whole subject I'm talking about, all misconstrued, just so, no one would ever get it, like, really get it, because then, you'll be bigger and better than them, and then they'll be like, oh, oh shit, I can't mess with that person, and it's like, that sounds crazy, but it makes sense, when you're being critical of things, and kind of, I overanalyze, so I sit there and my head just goes on and analyzes every little thing, and it's like, almost like, it makes sense in my mind, but, also, when you read a witchy book, there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of vocabulary, because you can't explain witchcraft or magic in words, like, just everyday used words. Like, it goes so into depth that you are like, I have, I always have my iPhone or my iTouch with me with the dictionary app, because I'm always like, I'm always wondering, like, I understand some words, but really I want to see what the dictionary says, and it's crazy how many words are pretty much made up just for you look up on the dictionary and there's a bunch of, definitions for one word, but, and ways to use it. But when you're looking up, like, a witchy word, it's usually specific just for, like, witchcraft. So, I don't know. And that's the other thing, too. There's so much that's annoying me right now, because, that I've watched it's like every time I come on YouTube, there's something else that is disappointing. Like when I feel like before I even made a channel, like, you know, YouTube was great. Everybody was, you know, helping everyone and just like uplifting and go, 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 you got it, you've come so far, blah, blah, blah. But now it's like a contest that I don't want to be in, because I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I'm trying to learn from them and join them and not judge them and not be judged. And, you know, and it's just, you know, there's just so much to it, like the dark and light witch thing. I've watched a bunch of videos on that because, you know, I was interested, like what is a dark witch and what is a light witch. But, you know, I don't even know what that's all about, because, you know, some people, I think, misunderstand others a lot, and that's why I don't take anything that serious or automatically form an opinion. It's like when you're in school and or something and someone looks at you and they're kind of like, and you think they're like giving you the evil eye, or like they're just judging you or something. They're probably actually thinking something nice, and you know what, you make a big deal about it, you make a scene, and you're like, what's that, and blah blah blah, like, what are you giving me that face for, or don't look, you know, don't look at me, that drama. And people actually are like, I was just thinking, you know, I liked your shirt or your hair or your whatever, like your makeup, something, your hat, I don't know. And but you're sitting there already kind of jumping down their throats, assuming that it's something negative. And that's why, you know, when people are like, oh, that's the other thing, fluffy bunnies, you know. So if you were at peace with yourself walking down that school hallway, if you were at peace with yourself and someone looked at you that way, you wouldn't think, you know, bad or negative, or try to like defend and protect yourself against, you know, their little evil eye, because you would be like, you know, hi. And that's what I mean, like when I think of dark, like a dark witch, I think of them as like a newcomer. They're coming out of like a dark place where they were confused, or like they are just unsure about things, or they could be teenagers, you know. That to me, that's like dark, and you're coming into the light. Like this is where you belong, and or you feel you belong. Otherwise, you wouldn't be walking this path. You'd take that first step and be like, nope, turning around. So to me, it's like, you know, like same thing with the fluffy bunnies. Like when I first started understanding the concept of a fluffy bunny, I was like, okay, so far, if you're a fluffy bunny, you're fake. You're like a teenager, so you know you read the Silver Raven Wolf books and all this BS, and you're cute. Okay, stop for a second, because okay, I don't understand it. I really don't, because you know, when it's just like, I don't know. Fluffy bunnies, that's just a screwed up term for me. But to me, it would be like, you know, I would assume saying like a light witch. Like you're experienced in the path. You know what you're talking about. Nothing's gonna bring you down. You're positive. You're like just optimistic, and you're learning from mistakes, and you're constantly growing, and you're at peace with yourself. You enjoy your own company. You want to help others because you know so much, and you just want to share it. So when you're sitting there and you're like, you know, woohoo, it's because they're trying to like, it's like, you know, you know, sometimes I want to come on here and make a YouTube video and just flip out, just go crazy. But then I'm like, no, because then there's probably people, you know, if I'm going to sit here and say I'm a witch, and then there's people who are new to the path and are believing that it's working for them and it's really changing their lives for the better, and you know, they feel powerful, they feel confident, they feel good about themselves, which is good for teens, like this whole path, because that's what they need. Like when you're in high school, you're like, It's hard. It's, everybody's like, now they're grown up, I want to go back to school. No, I don't. I don't. And I'll make a little bio video of why I do not, and why I'm probably not in school at this moment. Because I had to deal with a lot of shit just for being different, just for being me, just for not, trying to fit in with anybody, or, oh, someone got that shirt, now everybody's got to get it. Like, I wasn't like that. I was like, I don't like that shirt. And then I had to learn to stand up for myself. And that's the other thing. People say, oh, Fluffy Bunnies is not standing up for yourself, and I guess that's being fake. That's not being fake to me. Like, fake is a very serious, I'm sorry, fake is like a word that can be like, can be defined in many ways. Okay, there's, like a fake. When I think of fake, it would be, how, say someone's in your face, and instead of you being like, yeah, I don't like you, or whatever, to their face, they're just trying to be respectful. They're going to be like, I just don't think we're going to get along. That would be being, not being fake, right? But at the same time, it's like, so you want that person to be like, no, I don't like you, and this and that, and bring you down. Like, okay, so she's fake because she didn't want to tell that person what she didn't like about them, or what she didn't like about him, or what he didn't like about her. Like, that's not being real. By bringing someone down, by telling them why you don't like them. Like, some parts of fake is, it's like when, it's like saying fake is like just a lie. Because, okay, say, you're a guy, and your wife's pregnant or whatever, and she's like, oh, do I look, fat in this or anything? And, he's like, yeah. So he's being fake because he didn't want to say, yeah, because he's being fake because he didn't want to be like, yeah, honey, you're huge. Like, that's why I get a little pissed off, because, um, fake and Fluffy Bunnies, it's not that. It's that, I could sit here and you can call me fake by acting like everything is perfect, or this path is, great, and it's the way to go, and it works, and yeah, everybody has their ups and downs, but, blah, blah, blah. But, or I could be real, and I could be, a non-Fluffy Bunny, and sit here and be like, I've been practicing, Wicca and witchcraft and paganism for so long, and now my life's going to shit, and I don't know what to do, and everything's messed up, and I can't trust no one, but guess what? That's that's gonna, one, probably start an argument, because, what works for others doesn't work for everyone, and two, it's not gonna help anyone. It's not gonna be like, oh, well, whether someone decides, I'm not gonna follow that path because she said that she didn't like it and it's not working for her. Or someone who doesn't like me would be like, oh, she don't like it, I probably will, and follow. Like, it's just not gonna do any good. So, and that's the other thing, like, like, with, like, everybody assumes, like, witchcraft is working, or being a witch is working magic, but to me, being a witch is a religion in itself. Like, people like, oh, being wicked, like, being a witch isn't being, religious, or a religion, but to me it is. And, if you're going to sit there and say it's all about the magic, then I don't think anybody should be considered a witch. Because, first of all, when people do spellcraft and stuff, I could probably do it easily without anything. But I don't abuse it, for one. And for two, I do it in desperate times. When I've tried everything else and it's not working. That's when you call down the quarters, call down the whatever deity, and be like, please help and assist me in this. And it has to be like a desperate time, or a dark time of your life. That's why I think, dark and light witches can be considered, because, and you can't say you're a dark witch just because, you have dark hair, dark eyes, dark lips, and dark clothes on. Like, that doesn't, maybe it does, because maybe you're going through a hard time, and that's you know, how you want to be. Maybe you don't want to be all in white and pink and bright pastel colors, and that's totally understandable. But, you know, I'm just, my phone's going off. I'm just concerned as, you know, why everybody gets so mad when people are sharing, you know, the good things, because they're just trying to help you, more or less. Like, they don't have to share that. Like, no one has to come on here and tell you what works, what doesn't, what to do, what not to do. You know, that's just their experience, and they're not, you know, they're trying to help. I think everybody on here is trying to help and trying to, you know, help everybody grow, and, you know, by sharing experiences and acting, you know, like they're really happy when they're not. So I'm fake. Am I fake because, you know, I go hang out with my friends and I want to sit there and just not talk and just be like, you know, in my own little world, but, you know, have company. Like, that's what I want to do a lot of times. I don't want to be like, yeah, I know, haha, life's great. Honestly, sometimes I want to like choke them, and I'm just like, no, you know. So I sit there and I act happy, and you know, and act like, and I make the best of it. Like, I try to make the best of it, you know, because it's better than sitting there and getting annoyed by every little thing. Because if you go out with that kind of attitude, it's just gonna bring more of it. Like, you're just gonna be annoyed by, you know, the sound of the bus or the tapping of someone's finger, or like the whatever it is, the loud music, you know. And it's like, you know, so why um why am I fake if I'm pretending that, you know, life isn't so bad and that it gets better? This is my favorite quote and saying. I say this to everybody when they're going through a hard time. Everything is going to be okay. Because I'm not saying it's going to be great or incredible or everything's bad, that everything bad happening is to bring something even better, because that's not the case. All I'm saying is that everything is going to be okay. You know, I remember even being back in high school and having like a zit on my nose or something and being like, it's the end of the world. But like now it's like, no one cares. Like, come on. So it's just funny how, I don't know, things go on like that. But anyways, that's all I have to say about that, and I'm gonna go get ready for the day, and I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah, I'll make another video and show you guys my altar that I didn't want to show it, you know, for the past couple days because I wasn't done working on it, so I didn't want to kind of bring, you know, too much attention to it. I wanted to, you know, feel at peace. You know, it's just my little area, my little spot, and that's it. So now that I'm finished, for now at least, I really want to show you guys and talk about it a little bit. So hopefully you like this video, or if whatever you think, let me know. I mean, I'm willing to accept. I'm open-minded. I'll, you know, whatever you guys, if you disagree or you agree, I love reading the comments. So just, yeah, I don't know. Thanks for watching. Okay.